It's all good. So let us roll like Greg's.
Perfect.
Hello broskies and welcome back to another edition of Buy or Buy. And if you're new here, I'm Erkin and this is the life of a broski, where of course I bring you sneakers, lifestyle and more waffle than Captain Birdseye. Now broskies, before we get into this sneaker, I've got to put this out there. One of my worst received videos and also most viewed is a sneaker that essentially does the same thing. Honestly, some of the comments on that video, if my skin wasn't thicker than a Snicker, I would have honestly packed up YouTube. I wasn't actually well at the time of recording it. And in all honesty, I didn't really take the sneaker that serious. Just because I felt like it was such a big gimmick, and me coming from a heavy professional sports background, I could see what Nike were trying to do, but it just wasn't for me. And because of all the things I didn't like about the sneaker, I didn't even bother with a performance review. So I'm hoping this sneaker and review is a redemption to that video. I'm actually glad it got the attention that it did. It sort of woke me up in terms of taking this YouTube seriously. I think up until that point I was very blasé in terms of how I did my reviews, and you can see the growth and evolution in the channel compared to then. But anyways broskies, enough with the disclaimer, enough with the waffle, let's get into this sneaker. As you can tell from the title, on this episode I am reviewing the Nike SuperRep Go. Now, like I've mentioned at the start of this video, that half-hearted review that I did to the Air Zoom SuperRep HIIT is designed for high intensity interval training. But for me, being a personal trainer, it was just such a gimmick. I do get what Nike were aiming for, but for £105, I just couldn't recommend it. And yeah, of course, you can't give your final verdict on a workout or performance sneaker without actually performing in it. And my go-to overall sneaker is the Nike Fury 2. It just does everything right. You can go from weight training to circuit training to anything you want. Now the SuperRep Go is the Air Zoom HIIT's little brother. And would you believe it or not, I have actually worked out in this sneaker. So in terms of workout performance, I can give you my first impressions. Now Nike claim this sneaker is for workouts on the go, hence the name. Designed mostly for circuit training. And the overall shape of this silhouette, I can already tell this is a better design. It doesn't have that massive curved look to the midsole, like its bigger brother. So this sneaker does cater for more movements and activities. I wouldn't really recommend this sneaker for weight training simply because of the upper on this sneaker. It's not as secure as say some of your other workout sneakers. So if you are doing a heavy lunge or a heavy squat, it will be a massive risk. So going around the materials on this sneaker, and what covers most of it is of course that mesh material. Now one of the priorities for me from a workout sneaker is how breathable it is. You're already going to be sweating away in the gym or in your workout, and the lack of ventilation on your sneakers should be the least of your worries. Now one thing to note towards the mid panels on this sneaker, where that camo design sits, it's semi-transparent. So even though it has that thin caging, you could actually see your socks or foot through the sneaker. Now on the overlays of this sneaker, on those green khaki panels, it has that soft rubber feel. Now what's interesting to note, on the lateral side of this sneaker, more so than the medial, we have those arcs. And what these arcs are designed for is to help support your lateral movements in this sneaker. So even though the sneaker's structure isn't the best on the upper materials, the midsole sort of caters to that. And going towards the back at the heel counter, on both sneakers you have different messages. So on the left one you have Dare, Defy and Do, also designed for workouts on the go. And on the right one, on the medial side too, you have Go, Sweat, Repeat, repeated 3 times. Now I guess Nike are really trying to motivate you by those little messages, but I'm here for that. I like those little subtle touches. Now one thing to note that I have had trouble with this sneaker is trying to put them on and take them off is a bit of a nightmare. I'm not sure why Nike didn't include a pulley at the back. Just that little piece of jigsaw missing creates a big problem. When you're trying to work out or finish a workout, you're trying to either put the sneakers on or take them off as quickly as possible. So that's just one thing to note in terms of design that I didn't like straight away. Now of course, in terms of the midsole, we have that SuperRep branding on the lateral side towards the back. And of course, like I've mentioned, those arcs on the medial and lateral side too, and that slight curve towards the front. Now on the outsole, where things really get interesting, towards the back, there is that sort of horseshoe design. And again, that is to support the lateral movements during a workout. But as things widen off towards the forefront of the outsole, you can see where the arcs are planted. Now the contrast between the black and the gum outsole, we have the SuperRep branding in that circular badge. I feel like they haven't done too much to this design, but enough to separate itself from its older brother. So Broski's first impressions in terms of design and the feel on foot. I'm already more of a fan of this sneaker compared to the other sneaker we do not name. It just gives me the essentials in terms of what they offer from a workout sneaker. And it doesn't try to hit me with all these gimmicks and all these designs that I didn't really want. So in terms of the sizing with this sneaker, they fit pretty much true to size. But my advice is try these on if you can before buying them, because everyone likes their sneakers to fit differently, and especially when it comes to workout sneakers. For me personally, compared to a lifestyle sneaker, I do like them a bit more snug. Now in terms of the comfort with this sneaker, whether it is working out in them or just walking around, they honestly feel like two different sneakers. Now the back of this midsole feels a lot different compared to the forefront, and I guess that's what Nike was aiming for. Because when you're on your feet and when you're working out in say a circuit training session, a lot of the time you're going to be on your toes or on the balls of your feet. But that's just one thing I did notice in terms of that feel on foot. One thing I really did like is the way the upper sits on your foot. It does have that slight curve to it, but it just feels nice and snug. So that was just trying them on. In terms of the feeling when you're working out in them, you can just whack these on and do your workout. Compared to the Air Zoom SuperRep, yes, it was designed for high intense interval training, but for me, you really had to think about every step you take. So imagine if you're working out in them, it's really going to take you out of your zone when you're trying to perform movements such as burpees or lunges. But in my opinion, this sneaker doesn't give me that problem. So overall comfort as a package, workout and just trying these on, a solid 8.5. It does exactly what I want from a workout sneaker. So when it comes to the breathability of this sneaker, the mesh material on the upper, it does everything right. I cannot complain whatsoever. Honestly, the biggest compliment I can give it, it's actually on par to the Flyknit material and Ultra Boost. The only thing it does sacrifice is the lack of structure on the upper, but due to how breathable it is, I can let that slide. So breathability, I'm going to give a top-notch score of 9.5. So broskis, we've come to the part of the video where I decide if these are a buy or a buy. I do have to compare it to the Air Zoom SuperRep because they're very similar, but they're also very different. And this being the cheaper option of £90 in the UK and its older brother going for £105, what does it do differently? Now for one, straight away, the stability in this sneaker is 100% better than its older brother. It also looks a lot better in my opinion, and the overall design offers a lot more in terms of the types of workouts you can do. Now for these, I wouldn't advise weight training, but overall for circuit training and body weight training, these in my opinion are a way better option. I think the Air Zoom SuperRep really limits itself in terms of what it's designed for, but the overall feel on foot just wasn't for me. Now the only flaw I can give this sneaker, especially compared to the Air Zoom SuperRep, is that slight difference in build quality. The Air Zoom SuperRep, of course being a bit more expensive, just offers that little bit more in terms of build quality of the materials. and I really don't know in terms of durability how these will hold up from workout to workout. I can't really see these sneakers lasting for a couple years if these are your daily workout sneakers. But of course, broskies, only time will tell. So if a client came to me and asked me what sneaker do I recommend at the moment, I would honestly still go for the Nike Fury 2. But if you want something new, something different, I could actually give this a buy. It does a lot better than its older brother. And in terms of how they feel on foot when it comes to working out, it was actually a pleasant experience. And these, even though they're less expensive, they offer a lot more. And broskies, if you're thinking of grabbing a pair, I will leave some affiliate links in the description box below. But broskies, let me know what you think. Are you a fan of this sneaker? Are you thinking about getting this for workouts? Or do you work out in a whole different sneaker? Leave your comments down below, and of course, I will be pinning the best one. Anyways, broskies, that's enough from me. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and of course, until the next episode, take care.